Hello everyone, welcome to INT Lab's first YouTube video podcast. INT is Integrated Neuroscience and Technology Lab, and we're very excited to have our first guest, the one who started it all, Professor Vaibhav Tripathi. So, would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay, I'm Vaibhav. Thanks for joining the first video of our lab. We are the Integrative Neuroscience and Technology Lab. The focus of the lab is to do awesome science and staying happy with amazing these awesome people who are all around us. Introduction. I did my bachelor's in computer science engineering at Delhi College of Engineering. After that, worked in Paytm for a while. And then after that, it's like I had this startup bug in me. I started a company and then didn't pan out. But then I was like curious about the brain. Like, kuch to karna hai. Then I started in neuroscience, get a master's degree, get a PhD, and then last year I joined IIT Gandhinagar as an assistant professor and started this amazing lab. And again surrounded by amazing smart people. So I'm having a gala time here. So lovely to be here.
So you said that you got curious about
Yeah.
the mind. So, is there any specific moment that you would highlight which sort of raised that question?
So I think being trained as a computer scientist, you start thinking about processes and all, how things operate, how things work. So I kept thinking of the algorithms that the brain is doing. Again, brain is so complex, such a amazingly complex equipment. So how it is doing what it is doing. And then I had like a machine learning course at the end of my classes, and then we were thinking about these neurons and how do they connect and how do they interact with each other. And so I was curious, like how this enormous diversity of function can be brought about by the interaction of a few neurons connected and wired together. Not a few, like billions of neurons, but everything that we do and we operate in this world can be done by this small brain, like the size of like this big, and it can help us do so many things. So I was very, very curious. It's like, oh, how it is functioning, what it is functioning.
So we're studying this all under the heading of cognitive science,
Yes.
right? So we'll keep our questions very light,
Yes,
very
yes.
interesting, so
Yes,
that
yes.
the viewers have fun. My next question to you is, why should they know about cognitive science in general?
Because again, the everyone interacts with the world through their brain. Anything that they're doing with the world, their brain and their nervous system are part of it. How they're really interacting, what's happening in that process, it's of essential. Like how I'm doing X. X could be how I am attending to things, how am I remembering things, how dreams are coming, uh, how am I interacting with people. All this comes under the ambit of cognitive science. So cognitive science is amazing. It's so fun to do, and there is so many things that we don't know. And even apart from that, we understand how dysfunction happens. So we operate in this world, but we have people who have different dysfunctions. It could be dementia, could be schizophrenia, could be autism or ADHD. So how does that come about? So understanding healthy individuals and then seeing how it transfers to people with their different disorders is a very curious and very interesting place to be. And this is where people can really like again connect with cognitive science because it's their day-to-day experience.
Okay. So, since it's getting so popularized, not just in the field of research, but there are so many reels that we see on cognitive sciences on brain. There's so many videos that we see about the left versus right brain, or about using 10%, only 10% of our brain. So this is sort of a myth, right? So is there any myths about cognitive science that you would really like to be debunked?
Uh, Again, there are two myths. One you already talked about the 10% thing. So that's false. We don't use 10% of our brain. Our brain is very plastic in nature, and we are optimized for the evolution is optimized just for survival. So is it either use it or lose it? So if we do not use certain part of the brain will not keep it for long. But interestingly, because it's so plastic, so if you start using it, it will start developing. So let's say you start learning music or guitar at a later age, you'll start actually developing those part of the brain associated with music or guitar playing or that motor function. So the brain is highly plastic and it's kind of working on peak efficiency most of the time. You have to increase that. That's another thing. So let's say if you stop using your brain as much, it's not like it's just 10% capacity. You're always using kind of your 100%. Another thing that is kind of a not a myth but still a very popular parlance is that oh, left hemisphere is for logical thinking, right hemisphere is for emotional thinking. That's usually not the case. Again, we see distributed function across both hemispheres of the brain, and it's not that, oh, I'm a left-sided individual versus a right-sided individual. We are both-sided individuals. And again, there are slight differences, but it's not that one is always active versus the other in some individuals. Okay.
So since we're talking about popularity, we'll go with a wild card question. And so the question I have is that if you could run an experiment on somebody, anybody in history, then what would you want to do and why would that be?
Couple of people like come to mind. I think Ramanujan is an amazing case of unfettered genius. He used to work a lot, not taking from him that, but he used to like download these. He has such intuition for maths, and he discovered more than 4,000 theorems. I mean, one of the most highly like kind of decorated or prolific mathematicians of all times. I think just measured by like Gauss or Euler. So I think Ramanujan would be one. I'd like to scan his brain and see how does he do the thing that he does. Another would be Einstein, and again he has done a lot of significant work. Apparently, some people did preserve Einstein's brain, so I'm not sure where it is now. But again, I'll be very curious to talk to these two.
So since we went back a lot in the past, I would also like to have like a vision towards the future, and I would like to ask you, where do you see this field in the next 5 to 10 years?
Uh, so it's going at a very good pace, but again, it feels the how so AI and cognitive science are interacting a lot with each other. The speed of AI, we all know, it's going so fast, and so we definitely see AI helping us out a lot in understanding the brain well. But we still need a lot of theories. We keep on talking about that cognitive science and neuroscience in general is a data rich but theory poor field. Now we have generated enough data, and with AI models, we hope that we can start to generate a good foundational understanding of why and what it is happening. I keep on saying to people that cognitive science is in its pre-Newtonian or even pre-Galilean age of discovery of where physics was. There is so much that we do not know about the brain, and we need a lot of scientists, a lot of people who are able to actually try to work on the brain. Again, globally there are a lot, but again in India we feel that this I feel that this field could really come up very well, and it kind of helps us answer the fundamental questions starting from, okay, who are we, what are our place in nature, and how we do anything in the world. So I think next 5-10 years, even next 40-50 years, cognitive science has a very bright future. And there's so many discoveries waiting to be happening, and I think people like you all can do like amazing work in that.
So, since we're nearing the end of the session,
Yes.
and you also talked about very fundamental questions as to who we are. So, the final question is something that the viewers can take back with them, think about it, and that is, how has cognitive science helped you in your life, not just as a researcher, but as a human being?
It has made me more accepting of myself. So understanding my own kind of okay, this is how the body works. There are certain rules for the body. It has allowed me to be in more harmony with how my body and brain works. Again, sometimes it goes off. Like lately, I understood the importance of sleep. So last 3-4 years is like, okay, sleep is very important for the brain to function well. If I don't sleep well, the brain optimal performance will go down. So understanding how the body works and the brain works has started making me more accepting of my own self and accepting of other people as well.
So this was such a fun conversation. Thank you again, sir, for joining us. And if you would like to tell us what you want to know next, we can prepare more videos about that, maybe about plasticity, about the importance of sleep. And we're open to anything, but maybe not having our working memory performances recorded. Thank you
Awesome.
again for joining us.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
sir.
Thank you.